Hello guys, Travis here, and we're doing this a little different because everybody's asleep. So I brought on your boy, Kaskas.
That's me, you guys. What's going on?
He's kind of weird, but we'll deal with him.
You better.
And uh, we're bringing you the Bethesda Press Conference that took place at midnight Eastern time. Uh, it was kind of a shorter press conference. The ending did seem kind of abrupt because I was expecting, like, as it kept going and going and going, there were more and more rumors as it was approaching of new Bethesda IPs, which were never announced at this press conference. And like some people were thinking maybe they'll get announced at Sony's, but I think if you're going to announce them, it makes sense to announce them at yours.
Yeah, I can agree with that 100%. You just thought it would at least go for maybe an hour and a half, maybe at least an hour and 10 minutes, but it stopped at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
And with all the stuff that they announced, I think they got to the point just where to cut it off, and they shown what they got.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
So let's go down the list. I got the list here. Basically, they started off with Bethesda VR, which was Doom VR and Fallout VR. Which, if you have a VR, that's cool. I mean, I'm sure if you have a VR, you could pick that up. I feel like Doom in VR would be extremely nauseating.
Right, yes, definitely.
A lot of movement. Yeah. Go ahead.
Just wave after creatures, and all that turning around. I would throw up instantly.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. And I know Fallout 4 wouldn't really be nauseating, but it just seems like a really long game to be wearing the headset.
Yeah, like, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine.
But me, I played VR a couple times at my friend's house, and I could barely wear the Oculus Rift or the Vive, or whatever the hell they're called, for 20 minutes at a time. And you're talking about Fallout. That's like, I played Fallout in one sitting. I could play Fallout for like 12 hours straight, and I couldn't do that in a VR headset. But I think the concept is cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, Doom is a really, really good game. A lot of people said Fallout 4 was their least favorite of the Fallout games, of the newer ones, because I know Fallout 1 and 2 we're talking Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4.
You're right.
4 was people's least favorite, but then again, I couldn't finish 3 because it pissed me off, but I finished 4. So maybe I do like 3. I don't know.
Like, I loved 3. I thought 4 was the better of the two. And I thought New Vegas was just kind of there.
And
like, I paid an extra $60 for a new Fallout 3.
And a lot of people love New Vegas, so I feel like there's a difference of opinion there. I feel like Fallout 3 and New Vegas is a lot of people's favorites. A lot of people love New Vegas more than all of them. You'll get that opinion a lot, and I think Fallout 4 is. I enjoyed Fallout 4. It wasn't like up. I mean, I guess it was right up there on my Game of the Year list, but that was before I started buying every game. So, yikes.
Yes.
But moving on from the VR, we went to Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind. I think it was Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind.
Yes, that's what it was.
Which I think it was Colton who I wanted would be awesome if he was able to be here, but I think he went to bed. It was a rough day for him, and I thought Morrowind was already released, but maybe it's not. I could have sworn it was.
The way it is Morrowind was released a long time ago. It was actually before Oblivion was released, and that was its own game, but they have Elder Scrolls Online, which is its own game, and I think this is just going to be an expansion for it, but it's already out, apparently. I didn't even know it was already out.
Well, I've seen it on the PlayStation Store, but I don't know if it was out or if it was a pre-order thing.
Like, I played Elder Scrolls Online on the console, PlayStation 4, but I just couldn't get behind it for anything. I thought the concept was cool, and I thought I'd give it a shot. And I couldn't get behind it. The servers kept crashing on me. I mean, I hope they have it fixed now, but I still don't see it being a good idea for this.
Well, Elder Scrolls Online was broken at launch. I think it's way fixed now.
I hope so. I
Yeah.
really fucking hope so.
I think it was very broken in a lot of ways at launch.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, moving on from that, I mean, a lot of this beginning stuff is older games that they're bringing to either the VR or the Switch that we'll talk about in a second, or other things. But the next thing we have, they talked about the Creation Club, where it looks like you can create weapons and armors, gameplay enhancements for Skyrim and Fallout 4, which is kind of cool if you can actually do that. Which you could kind of create weapons and armor in Fallout 4 anyway.
Yeah, indeed.
But
Like I thought the concept was cool for that,
mm-hmm.
but I mean, like you're just doing it just to do it. I mean, they're not really giving. Like, are the creations that people create? Are they going to be able to go out to the world? Because I really couldn't hear a lot of it. But once they're created and they upload it, is everybody going to do it, or do you have to pay some kind of subscription fee? How is it going to work?
I mean,
That's what I want to know.
Knowing Fallout, knowing how Fallout works, I'm assuming, I don't know about Skyrim, but knowing how Fallout works, I'm assuming it's going to be free, because everything they did was free. They put all kinds of stuff in the game to begin with, and it was all, they didn't have to pay for any of it. So I'm assuming that's the case.
I would hope so.
There's not much on it. They didn't spend that much time on it. Pretty much what we said is what we know.
Exactly.
They did say a little bit more, but I didn't catch all of it. I didn't jot it down, so I'm not sure. I think they just talked about how to access it. So I mean, that's really nothing more than we already know.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. There was also an Elder Scrolls Legend Heroes of Skyrim that somebody told me was like a. Everybody thought it was a Hearthstone. Hearthstone?
Yeah, Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, and I guess I don't know if it actually is, because the Hearthstone's not actually in the title, but it does look like it.
Well, the way that this one is, because Hearthstone isn't Bethesda's territory. Mm-hmm. That's from the same guys who created World of Warcraft. Mm-hmm. They have the Hearthstone thing, but they're just making their own. Like, I guess it's supposed to be a mobile card game. Mm-hmm. And the Heroes of Skyrim thing is supposed to be an add-on for it. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be coming out like sometime next week, I think, mm-hmm. from the time this video is being uploaded. But I don't know much about these kinds of card games. I've never actually played them, to tell you the truth.
No, so. I'm not huge in the card games, but if you are, if you like Hearthstone, it looks like this could be a thing.
I mean, from what little gameplay they showed, it looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I'd if it's free, I'd probably give it a try.
Oh yeah, I mean, it won't be free, so.
It's not going to be free though,
probably
so
not.
Expect that.
Probably not. Moving on from that one, since there's not much we know other than what they showed, that kind of looks like a Hearthstone. Everybody thought it was Hearthstone for a while, until it was announced, but. The next thing they go is the Skyrim on the Switch, and I know you saw some stuff that you thought was cool, but for me, I just don't care, because Skyrim's been remastered so many times already. And the thing about Nintendo that always pisses me off is Nintendo wants to pretend like this stuff, like they're acting like Skyrim, I know it's new to Nintendo, but they're acting like it's new in general, and it's just like, dude, like, you may act like this is a huge thing, but it's almost every console has had Skyrim for a while.
Right, and I agree with you 100%. They're just revamping something that is really old, but, I mean, you've played Skyrim, I assume, right? You've played Skyrim.
A little bit.
I mean, Skyrim's a great game. And the way that I see it, they're putting extra mechanics in there now because apparently they're going to be using the amiibo system as well. And like they shown a little Link amiibo going on there, and then the Dovahkiin picking up the Master Sword and the Hyrulean shield and wearing the tunic and everything like that. And it looks very crisp and clean. And they also showed the motion controls. I mean, that's what I think. They're putting new elements into this very old game. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, even though a lot of people probably aren't going to get it for the Switch just for those little, what am I the word I'm looking for?
Details?
Little enhancements. Yeah, the little extra details and enhancements. But I mean, it's a cool concept. If you have the Switch and you have the extra money and you want to live the experience of Skyrim through with those little extra enhancements and details, go for it. But it's not my kind of thing.
I mean, neither of us are going to get the Switch, I don't think. And the thing with the Switch, and go really quick, is people talk about doing it on the move. Like, if you're on a trip or something, you can take it with you.
Right.
I can't do stuff like that in a car. It makes me sick.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I can barely watch the old school DVDs that you hook up to your cigarette lighter. I can't even do that kind of stuff, much less play the Switch.
I can't even stare at my phone long enough before. But moving on from Skyrim, the Skyrim on the Switch it looks like to be a Dishonored expansion. I want to say it's an expansion because I don't think it's a new game. I don't think they do a new game. They just released the second one not too long ago. Dishonored: Death of the Outsiders is the name of this one.
I would say it's an expansion, but go ahead with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
For me, I don't care. I'm not a huge Dishonored fan. I also don't think Dishonored graphically, and I know not everything's about graphics and whatnot, but I don't really like the feel. I'm not a stealth person. Like, everybody's like, you got to stealth. It's not me. I'm just not good at it, and that's not my fault. That's not the game's fault. That's my fault. But at the same time, it's just graphically they didn't really upgrade it that much over 1. And it's not like 1 is like a newer game. But you go from 1 to 2 and they didn't graphically that's why when Prey came out, it's the same studio that did Prey, and it looked the way it did. You're just like, this can't be the same company because this game looks good while Dishonored 2 lacked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and if you love Dishonored, you're going to probably like this game, but it's just not for me because I'm not a huge fan of Dishonored.
Exactly. Like, I never played the second Dishonored just because it's the stealth element. Like, a lot of the gamers from this day and age are not going to like the stealth element. And, I mean, I hope the expansion is good on it. I was thinking about picking up Dishonored 2 someday, but, I mean, I just don't see me doing that kind of stuff. I played the shit out of the first Dishonored, but I never freaking did any of the stealth stuff. I was just portaling around and freaking stabbing people. It didn't even matter.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe I'll watch someone play it, but for me, it's not for me. A game fully on stealth is not for me. There could be games like I just played Hitman, and you're supposed to stealth, but guess what? You don't have to. In a game where you
stealth.
You don't. I mean, you don't have to stealth in Dishonored, I guess, if you're really good at it. But it's way easier on your life if you are good at stealth.
I agree with you there.
And okay, the next game was Quake. Quake, I think, is an arena game. I don't know much about it other than what they showed, and I didn't really see that much. Maybe you know more than I do.
Well, I saw that it is an arena style game. I guess you could call it like that CS:GO game. And I really don't know a lot about it. I've never actually played it or even seen it being played, but from what they've shown, it looked pretty cool. The abilities that they have, the kind of weapons that they have, and plus they're putting in the Wolfenstein character. What was his name again?
BJ Blazkowicz.
BJ Blazkowicz. I always get that name wrong. I think that's pretty cool. And plus, they're doing the $1 million in prizes if you win the tournament, I guess. But they're going to be doing the beta soon for it. So if you got a good PC, then good luck with it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, all the things I mispronounce, and BJ Blazkowicz I have down like. I don't know how I have that name down, but I do.
But BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah. And the moment they showed that, I was like, yep, Wolfenstein's going to be announced at this press conference. There's no way they show him and they don't announce the game. It was rumored anyway, but I'm like, there's no coincidence here. But we'll talk about Wolfenstein in a second. the next game announced was The Evil Within 2, which it was rumored beforehand that there was a possibility, and I was sitting there, just sitting there watching because it was supposed to be new games being announced, and I saw this creature standing at the end of the hallway, and I'm like, there's in a dark hallway, and I'm just like, there's no way this is anything else. I was right. Evil Within 1 was the most rage. Anybody that's watched that goes to my streams probably weren't around when I did the Evil Within. This was like early streaming. We're like 2 years ago. And it was the most rage-inducing game I have ever played, but at the same time, it was really fun.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I really like the first one. It wasn't fully horror. It mixed between horror and thriller.
Right.
It wasn't fully horror because some stuff you couldn't. I mean, there was parts where it'd be thriller, but then there'd be parts where a freaking 8-legged lady would jam herself up through the freaking floor, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh God.
Yeah, and there's not enough for me. There's not enough in the horror genre.
Yeah, I can agree with you there 100%.
Yeah, there's not enough in the horror genre. I think Outlast 2 and Resident Evil 7 was a good start in that direction. Now, not everybody liked Outlast 2, but mostly because the ending was abrupt and confusing.
Yeah.
But I think they was still a good game. I think we need more horror games. I think The Evil Within, a lot of people didn't like it. I mean, we liked it. A lot of people didn't like the first one as that much because they felt like it kind of went off the rails after a while. I enjoyed it through. I enjoy watching people play it. Anymore, I'm like, should I play The Evil Within? And then I remember it raged me twice. I played it before I streamed, and I played it after I started streaming. And both times I raged. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe I should watch someone else play it on YouTube instead. Maybe I should just not. Every time I look at that, I'm like, okay, I have nothing to stream. And I look at The Evil Within, and I'm like, should I? And then I'm like, I shouldn't.
No.
Maybe when The Evil Within 2 gets closer, which apparently it's really close.
Yes, and I think we're going to talk about all these games coming out really close later, but I mean, The Evil Within 2 just looks phenomenal. Like, they didn't show much gameplay that I saw anyway. I mean, mostly they just showed in cutscenes, but those cutscenes
Go ahead.
were on point.
Yeah, they showed gameplay right at the end.
Oh yeah, not like too much of the gameplay though.
No, they showed some shooting. It was always chaotic. That game was
right.
I mean, you had parts where it wasn't so chaotic, where you can calm yourself down. You had parts that was just like, oh, here's a lot of people. One thing I hope they do, and it's not all sunshine here. One thing I hope they do with The Evil Within 2 is I hope, they had this thing where you would hit the guy and the guy would stumble back, or you would shoot him and he would stumble back, and then you'd go for a headshot and the bullet would fly through his head into the wall. It happened to me so many times that it wasn't a coincidence. I've seen it happen to other people. I don't know if it happened to you, but because when you get good at the game, you knock him back, you get the gun out, you shoot him in the head because he's stumbling back. It's an easy headshot.
Right.
But you have to wait for him to completely stand up before you can actually shoot him in the head, or it goes right through his head into the wall. And that was actually a lot of my rage.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because there's not a ton of ammo in that game, and you're wasting it because it's flying through his head into the wall. So I'm assuming they know that, and it'll be fixed in this game.
I would hope that they take feedback from people that have played the game and fix the problems with it, but you never know. Like, Bethesda is good about giving fan service, but they're also good about not listening that much as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if that makes any sense.
I mean, we'll roll with it.
Right.
We'll roll with it. But I'm excited for Evil Within 2. It's going to come out Friday the 13th in October.
Yes.
And we'll see what it brings. But the next game we got is Wolfenstein. That's your finale game. Wolfenstein. Did they say the full name?
Wolfenstein 2, and I don't know if there was anything at the end of it. I just saw Wolfenstein 2.
I'm sure there was, but Wolfenstein. Which is weird
Yeah,
to call it.
more
Which is,
likely.
I know it's a reboot, but it's weird to call it Wolfenstein 2 because it's like there's like 10 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wolfenstein, the New Order and the Old Blood, which was the DLC, or kind of like an expansion from the New Order.
Yeah.
They were both really, really, really good games. Like, really good games. We're talking very underrated. Probably, if I went back, and I don't know what games came out the same year as that, but like on the surface of the games I played that year, that was my favorite game of that year.
Definitely. Like Wolfenstein, the series of Wolfenstein games have always been grade A in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's not many games that can be topped, if that makes any sense. But I mean, honestly, the game looks solid. The game looks super solid right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they showed the stuff. It kind of had like I like that idea. Maybe you could run into that town that kind of looked like a Fallout town.
Yeah.
Kind of that old school diner kind of look going to it. There was freaking KKK members walking on the street.
Yeah, like that freaked me out at first. I was like, no way.
Yeah.
But I mean, this game has so much potential.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
just from the cutscenes that they shown and the little bit of gameplay, so much potential.
What is that? Is it machine? I don't think it's machine gun games. It's like machine something games. I can't remember, but they're the creators of Wolfenstein. Machine Head. I can't remember. Forgive me. I just wanted to. I always want to call it machine gun, but I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. But yeah, they were the people that did they also did the gunplay in Doom.
Yeah.
So they have some experience there. Machine games. It's just machine games. I always call them machine gun games. It's just machine games.
Okay.
In ID, but yeah, they did the gunplay. They're so good at like gunplay in those first-person shooters that Bethesda, when the other first-person shooters, they'll get machine games to actually do the gunplay.
Yeah.
So when Doom came out, that's why if you played Wolfenstein and then you played Doom, gunplay-wise, it was the same.
Yeah, it felt so similar.
Yeah.
And I mean, so we already know that they have experience doing it. This game is going to be solid when it comes to gameplay, shooting-wise, anyway.
Yep.
So, I mean, honestly, I really want to see this game come out, but like we said before, it comes out in October again.
October 27th, which is the same day as Assassin's Creed, which for some people, I mean, on the surface, if you're going to choose, Wolfenstein.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wolfenstein. I mean, I love Assassin's Creed. It's been going downhill. They took a year off. Hopefully this game is better off for it, but Wolfenstein. If you have to choose a game, it's always going to be Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein, the last game was really good. There's no reason to believe this game will be any different. And the crazy thing about that, I can't remember. I think Machine Games used to be a different company, but it's the same people. They used to be called something else. And they made the original Wolfenstein. They've made Wolfenstein from the day it came out back in the 90s up until now. It's the same company, just a different name.
Right. I can't even remember what the company's name was way back when, but I mean,
ID Software maybe? I don't remember.
I think that was it.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they got renamed. That's why it's weird that they're calling it Wolfenstein 2, because it's a reboot, but it's a reboot by the company that made the other ones.
Yes, exactly.
But
I mean, Wolfenstein has stood the test of time all the way from the 90s, and I mean, honestly, the game's going to be amazing one way or another, and I just hope the story makes it what's the word I'm looking for, damn it,
amazing.
Yeah, makes it amazing as well. I've probably said amazing like 19 times there.
But. And what I love about Wolfenstein is in the last game, that angle that the Nazis won the war.
Yeah.
And I just love it. I mean, it's not that hard of a concept, but like on the surface in the Wolfenstein world, especially with BJ Blazkowicz, he's, it's just an awesome concept because then he could just go, oh, you're going to take over America, huh? Well, shove a bomb up your ass.
Yeah, fuck you, America. Fuck yeah.
America. But yeah, that Wolfenstein I'm super excited for. I'm not excited for one thing I love about Bethesda, wrapping this up, this press conference wasn't as good as last year's. It was shorter than last year's for sure. And they didn't announce a lot of exciting stuff. A lot of the exciting stuff when we were watching it came from The Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything else, and that's why I think a lot of people is disappointing. And it was probably the worst press conference so far, because I thought EA did a pretty decent job.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, The Evil Within 2, Wolfenstein, the way Bethesda is able to just keep these games under wraps to where at the press conference it gets announced, and not announced for a certain date sometime in the future, but like 3 or 4 months after the trailer's done. It's so crazy because no other company can do that. Everything else is leaked. It was leaked that it could have been Wolfenstein and Evil Within 2 could be announced here, but it was not leaked it's going to come out this goddamn soon.
No, not even. And I mean, going back to what you said about this being the worst E3 conference so far, I don't really agree with that. I mean, sure, EA did have a good end to what they did with all their conference as well, but I mean, Bethesda, I've been a Bethesda fan ever since I first played Oblivion. And, I mean, they've stood strong. I mean, the games speak for themselves. That's all I could say. They make great games. And, I mean, sure, they didn't have anything brand new to release, I guess what I could say. But they had solid games.
Yeah.
And, sure, they had a lot of reboots. Sure, they had a lot of stuff on the Switch, which nobody's going to care about. But I mean, all they really needed was the Evil Within 2 and Wolfenstein 2, and people's dicks got rock hard.
Yeah,
that's all I could really say about it.
Yeah, I think I can agree on. I mean, we look at it this way. Really, what did EA have? They had Battlefront 2 and they had A Way Out, and they did have Need for Speed. But you look at Bethesda and they have Wolfenstein. If you don't care about Wolfenstein, I kind of don't want to talk to you. And and I can understand why some people wouldn't like The Evil Within 2, but if you like The Evil Within 2, you like Wolfenstein, those two games together, I mean, they're going to be good games. So Wolfenstein for sure. Evil Within 2 will probably be a good game.
I hope so.
You can't you can't tell until you know. Wolfenstein's it's a lock. And then so maybe those two games together push them above EA because those are higher quality games. I mean, I don't think Battlefront 2 is going to be better than Wolfenstein.
Don't get me wrong. Battlefront 2 is probably going to sweep the boards when it comes out. But I mean, for the time being, 2017, Wolfenstein alone. I mean, Battlefront 2 cannot compare to that.
Yeah. So
you have.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. You just can't compare the two. I mean, EA had a good press conference, but with just the two games from Bethesda, like you said, puts them above that. Like, they're not the best so far, but they're definitely better than EA, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, after day 2, Microsoft has been the best conference so far, but, before Sony goes, to see how that goes, it should be.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Bethesda didn't have Fallout 4 to drag out there.
Yeah.
So they did what they I mean, you can't have what you don't have.
Yeah.
And if they don't have a trailer for their new IPs, or if they're not ready for their new IPs, then it's whatever.
Exactly.
you can't drag out there what you don't have. So I mean that's that. So I mean, we'll see. But that's going to do it for this video. Tomorrow we got Ubisoft and PlayStation or Sony or whatever. So that's going to be fun. Ubisoft kind of blew their load with Assassin's Creed, but we still got some Far Cry 5. Hopefully the Far Cry 5 stuff isn't just stuff we've already seen from when they revealed it.
Yeah.
And we'll see what else Ubisoft does. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who knows? They might even show some new stuff with Assassin's Creed that we didn't see with Microsoft. So you never know.
Yep. We'll find out. We will find out, but that's going to do it for the video. Thanks to our guest, Kaskas.
Yeah.
And
thanks for having me.
Yep. And we'll be back probably with the normal crew, at least Flame Wheels yelling ass.
Yeah. Hooray!
Hooray! Hello. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow after Ubisoft. Bye, guys.
Later.